In this session, we'll discuss how to receive a finished goods style purchase order. From the transaction menu, select Style Purchase Order module, then go to the Receiving submenu. Then finally, select Receive PO option. In the previous sessions, we discussed how to maintain the imported style purchase order for finished goods, as well as how to maintain the shipment in transit for a group of purchase orders. In this session, we'll learn how to receive the purchase order by several methods. So when you open up the Receive Style PO screen, first thing, choose the date, which is today's date by default. Then in the receiving type, in Aria you can receive by several options, like receiving by individual POs, receiving by shipment, which can be a batch of purchase order, receiving a temporary PO batch, receive enter location PO or enter location PO shipment, and the last two or three options are applicable only in case of multi-warehouse locations, where you can transfer the goods between or among different locations. So we'll discuss in today's session how to receive the PO either by individual POs or by a shipment. So I'm gonna select Receive by PO. To start the receiving session, select a PO number from the list, or you can type it in if you know the PO number directly. So navigate to the required PO number, press enter to select it. Now you will have two options to receive your PO, either manually or automatically. The manual method is helpful or is good in case of short shipping or short receiving the merchandise, so you will have the option to select one PO line at the time and accordingly decide the quantity that you want to receive into the warehouse. Versus automatic way or receiving automatically would be helpful in case of fully receiving the entire PO. So rather than selecting the PO line manually one by one, you can choose automatically, which actually will copy and retrieve the entire PO lines, style and colors into the receiving session. So I'm gonna choose here to receive automatically, which means all the PO lines will be copied from the PO and retrieved for receiving with the same exact quantity that was purchased or that was booked on the PO. So in that case, all the three style colors that we entered on the style PO are carried over to the receiving session. Simply, if you are receiving in full the entire quantity on the PO, nothing further is needed to be done. Otherwise, if you would like to receive any quantity on any line partially, simply highlight or navigate to that line for that style color and click on Line Quantity button. The line quantity will show up the style color quantity information broken down by the size. So on that field where the first quality is represented, you can choose exactly how many pieces out of the original booked quantity you are planning to receive into the warehouse. So here I'm gonna indicate the actual quantity I am receiving by size breakdown, and once you click close, this quantity will be saved. Now, as you may notice, the stock information will represent only the quantity revised on the line level to be received into the warehouse. The original will always represent the original booked quantity on that PO on that specific style color or line. Now, other options you might need to revise is the landed cost. So if you highlight any line of the PO and you click on landed cost button, that will give you a breakdown of all the cost element broken down by the purchase price, duty, fabric, miscellaneous, etc., according to the imported style cost sheet elements. However, this option will be available to edit only if you go to option and click edit landed cost per line. So if I check that option, then go back to highlight or navigate to the required PO line, click landed cost. Now you will have the option or the opportunity to modify your landed cost for each cost item, like the purchase price, duty, fabric, miscellaneous, and so on. So here let us say I want to overwrite the purchase price with the actual or with the revised landed cost. You can modify from here directly, and so on and so forth for each costing element. Please note that this option is available only in case if you are using non-detailed costing on the related styles. If you are using detailed costing, then the alternative is to use adjust cost for receiving option from the receiving submenu on the style PO module. Finally, if you would like to change the default location warehouse that you would like to receive the goods in, you can do that from here, from this drop down. However, by default, the same location code chosen on the warehouse on the style purchase order will populate here for you to receive the merchandise in the same location. If you would like to add any other reference like bill of lading number, any other document that you want to refer to, you can do that as well on the line level. And when you are done, click the save modification buttons to save the changes. The system will give you the option either preview a receipt log, either preview it or print it. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, you can skip this step and click post. However, let us take a look on the PO receipt log, which is usually recommended to print a copy of that report as a receipt or as an evidence of the receiving transaction. So this is the style purchase order receipt log report. It's broken down by PO, by style number, and all the information related for that style, color, and size breakdown will be displayed, so you can print that report and you keep it as a reference for the received transaction. When you are done with printing the report, click close, and you will be taken back to the confirmation message. Once you click post, that means the session will be saved and posted to the inventory, and all the quantity will be updated on both the purchase order and work in progress, as well as the inventory and the stock on hand. When you are done, click the close door to quit from the screen. Now we'll take a look on the other option to receive the POs, which is receiving the PO by batch or by shipment number. So the same exact screen, you select your date, the date of the receiving transaction, and here in the receiving method, instead of receiving by PO, we are gonna select this time to receive by shipment. The same screen will be as is, except for instead of selecting by the purchase order number, we will select here by the shipment number. So I'm gonna either type in the shipment number or locate it from the list. Once you locate your shipment reference, press enter to select it, and simply all the lines included in that shipment will populate, no matter what's the PO number included. So in that case, we can receive the entire shipment for all the POs included in batch, no matter what PO number or what style colors, as long as they are included in that shipment. All other functions are exactly the same as we discussed, so you can highlight any line, you can go to line quantity to revise the actual quantity received. If you would like to revise the landed cost, you can go to options, click edit landed cost per line, and then go to the required style color, line quantity or line information, click landed cost, and here you will have the option to revise the landed costing elements for each specific PO line. Same like before, once you revise all the information, you confirm all the received quantity to be received in stock or into inventory. click the Save Modification button, and as well you can preview the receipt log report or print it to the printer, as well as once you are done with printing the report, you can post the changes to be saved to the inventory and update the work in progress as well as the inventory quantity. So this is the PO receipt log, and this time it's printed for the entire shipment for all the POs included in that shipment number. And once you print the report, you go back to the main screen where you can confirm the transaction and post the receiving session into the inventory. So in this session we learned how to receive a purchase order by several methods, either by individual POs, either manually or automatically, as well as receiving in a batch using a shipment number or using a temporary PO receiving batch.